Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some truly absurd spice in the Summer Cup, featuring a level 50 LEAFAGE Rowlett, level 50 Poplio, and level 50 Dwebble. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now it goes without saying, this is absolutely a team for fun and not for climbing. The battler mentioned it took a lot of games to get the wins that they did, but the wins are glorious. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out these level 50 first stage evolutions in action in the Summer Cup. Hopping to the first match, leading Dwebble into Pidgeot here. Pidgeot unfortunately lags a bit to start, but catches back up and makes a very nice catch, catching the Rock Blast from the Dwebble onto the Shadow Quagsire. Shadow Quagsire is going to be met by the LEAFAGE Rowlett. Rowlett farming up, but the Stone Edge is going to hit for super effective damage. Rowlett gets smacked with the Stone Edge, living on 1 HP and making the last second Seed Bomb. Quagsire, if it wants to, can shield and take switch advantage, and that's exactly what it's going to do. In comes the Poplio. Poplio gets the farm down. Quagsire did not make the move. In comes the Pidgeot. Pidgeot does have a lot of energy here, commits the shield, it's the Feather Dance, and that is very unfortunate, as Poplio, which already does not do a ton of damage, is now debuffed. Aqua Tail is going to connect, going for the snipe with the Dwebble. In the back, it's a Shadow Swampert. Shadow Swampert farming up a massive amount of energy. Dwebble firing off the X-Scissor here. Shadow Swampert, no shields. Maybe there's a farm down win con possibility here. Swampert fires off the Hydro, that will KO, but Poplio with the Water Gun. The Water Guns are adding up quite a bit on the Swampert here. The question is, can Swampert make another move? Poplio commits the shield. Swampert with 1 HP makes the Hydro Cannon. This is resisted. Can Poplio survive? Yes, it can. In comes the Pidgeot. Pidgeot gets farmed down, and that is a good game. Picking up a decent lead in the next match, Dwebble into Pelipper. Dwebble hitting for super effective damage with the smackdowns, but Pelipper will return the favor with a super effective Weather Ball. Dwebble continuing to farm. Pelipper is going to make it to another Weather Ball, and we're going to see a shield from the Dwebble. Dwebble looking for the full farm down. Opponent not going to let that happen. They send in Cradily, and oh boy, Cradily is trouble for this team. X-Scissor able to land, going for X-Scissor number 2. Hopefully the opponent is going to no shield here, but they do shield. We now see a counter switch into the Rowlett. Rowlett will take super effective damage from the Rock side. Rowlett is going to no shield Rock side. Big damage onto the Rowlett, and the Cradily is at the back-to-back moves. We will see a shield from the Rowlett. Rowlett farming up, and will fire off the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb hopefully will be enough to KO Cradily here. Cradily is going to commit the shield. Cradily firing off a charge move, and this will all come down to a potential catch. Gonna have to send in the Poplio and hope for a catch onto the Dwebble. Alright, here we go. In comes the Poplio. Poplio farming up, goes for the catch onto Dwebble, but the opponent shows terrific patience, hanging on to the energy. Bad news for Poplio, it gets one-shot by a Grass Knot, and that's game over. We've got some spice on the lead in the next match. Dwebble into a Shadow Arcanine. And the Arcanine is staying in this matchup despite the smackdowns dealing massive damage, so the opponent must be weak to Rock somewhere in the back as well. Arcanine fires off the Psychic Fangs, that will be shielded by the Dwebble. Dwebble leaves with energy. In comes Shadow Swampert. We see a pivot into the Poplio. In the back, opponent has Dugong. So we find the Pokemon that is weak to Rock in the back. Poplio's energy is walled here, but the opponent does not know Poplio's moveset, and they shield a resisted Aqua Tail. That is incredibly nice. Aqua Tail not going to be doing much of any damage here. Poplio farming up. Dugong has farmed a ton of energy here. Dugong goes for the Icy Wind, anticipating a shield from the Poplio, but Poplio has no plans to do so. Poplio firing off the Aqua Tail into the Dugong. Again, that just does not do a lot of damage. Dugong can honestly just KO with an Icy Wind here, and that's exactly what they're going to do. The nice thing is Dwebble has energy. We see the attempted snipe by the Shadow Swampert, but it's caught onto the level 50 Rowlett. LEAFAGE from Rowlett tearing through the Shadow Swampert. Swampert makes it to another Hydro, but as we've seen, Shadow Hydro will not KO here. Rowlett able to hang on, get the farm down. In comes the Dugong. Dugong will be hitting for double super effective damage here. Seed Bomb gets the shield. Dugong gets the farm down, but in comes the Dwebble with the loaded Rock Blast. Rock Blast, get that Dugong out of here, and that's a good game. Picking up a tough lead in the next match, Dwebble into Shadow Quagsire. This is a bad matchup. We see the immediate save switch into the Poplio. Shadow Quagsire staying in this matchup, so Poplio is going to be firing off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is going to be no-shielded by the Shadow Quagsire. Quagsire does have a lot of energy here. Poplio chooses to no-shield, and it is the Mud Bomb. That does so much damage. In comes a Shadow Zapdos, and dying with the Aqua Tail is Poplio. That is very unfortunate, as Dwebble is definitely not going to appreciate these charge attacks from the Zapdos. Zapdos goes for the Drill Peck. Zapdos has a second move, and unfortunately Dwebble could not get the farm down. That Drill Peck does so much damage. In comes the Shadow Quagsire, met with the Rowlett. Rowlett trying to get the farm down. Quagsire does make the Stone Edge. Stone Edge rocks the Rowlett, gets the farm down. In the back, it's a Shadow Beedrill. This is going to be a race. Resisted Poison Jab versus super effective Smackdown. Can Dwebble do it? Beedrill lives with 1 HP, and it's a heartbreaking loss. Picking up a pretty decent lead in the next match, Dwebble into Galvantula. Smackdown will hit for super effective damage here, but Galvantula has such a high attack stat that even a neutral charge move will require a shield from the Dwebble. Dwebble shields up, it is the lunge, opponent save switches into a Bubble Jellicent, which will be answered with the Rowlett. Rowlett is gonna no-shield, looking back saying, I can tank this, no problem, and now gonna farm up and go for the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb will hit for super effective damage here onto the Jellicent. Jellicent will commit the shield. Jellicent can just go for the Surf here. We are gonna see a shield from the Rowlett. Jellicent is running Bubble Beam. Oh my goodness, that is very unfortunate here. Rowlett over farming, firing off the Seed Bomb, trying to hide how much energy it has. Rowlett farming up. The Jellicent gets greedy, and that's gonna cost them. Jellicent underestimating Rowlett. Seed Bomb KOs, and they lose so much energy. Opponent is gonna send in Meganium. Meganium gets the farm down, and this is honestly a bit scary. In comes the Dwebble. Dwebble firing off the X-Scissor here. X-Scissor will hit for super effective damage, but Meganium has a move, but it's a beautiful catch onto the Poplio, as Frenzy Plant will fully one-shot. Back in comes the Dwebble. Dwebble makes the X-Scissor. This should be getting rid of the Meganium. All that's left is the Galv. Can the Galv make it to a charge move? Back in comes Galvantula. It cannot, and Dwebble gets the win. Hopping into the next match, leading Dwebble into Shadow Abomasnow. Again, Smackdown will hit for super effective damage here, but Shadow Abomasnow applies a ton of neutral pressure, so this Weather Ball is going to hurt. Weather Ball is going to connect onto the Dwebble. Dwebble looking for the farm down, but will have to concede a shield to do so. So Dwebble is going to leave down a shield. We see a switch into Poplio, and it's a simultaneous switch. Poplio into Pelipper. Poplio not going to make it to the Water Pulse, just going for the Aqua Tail here. Aqua Tail is going to be no-shielded by the Pelipper. Pelipper up a shield. Odds are they are not baiting. Pelipper does go straight for the Hurricane, and that is going to hurt. Back in comes the Dwebble. Dwebble firing off the Rock Blast, trying to get rid of the Pelipper. Opponent commits the shield here. Dwebble not quite able to make the charge move. That is quite unfortunate, and now it's all up to Rowlett. Rowlett will get the farm down. You just have to hope that whatever's in back is going to be weak to Rowlett. In the back, opponent has a Noctowl. There's no win con, and that's game over. Picking up the Dream lead in the next match, Dwebble into Talonflame. The team has two very strong answers to Talon. Opponent staying in this lead matchup, taking massive damage. They realize that's a terrible mistake, and they're going to save switch into Victory Bell. Victory Bell is a difficult Pokemon for this team to handle. Dwebble fires off the X-Scissor. Dwebble able to withstand the damage and make another X-Scissor here. X-Scissor would hit for neutral. We see a shield from the Victory Bell. In comes Rowlett. Rowlett, the Leafage is double resisted, but the nice thing is Rowlett is going to be double resisting the Razor Leafs as well. Opponent is running Leaf Tornado on their Victory Bell, and unfortunately Leaf Tornado is going to be debuffing the Rowlett. We're going to see another Leaf Tornado from the Victory Bell and another debuff. You have got to be kidding me. Firing off the Energy Ball here. That just does nothing. That's double resisted and quad debuffed. Rowlett looking for the Leafage farm down. Victory Bell hangs on with 1 HP. Makes the last second charge move. And unfortunately, that will KO the Rowlett. Poplio gets the Water Gun farm down. Poplio has 2 shields and it's going to need them. In the backs, Pelipper tries to go for the catch onto Dwebble. Opponent snipes with the Talonflame. Talonflame overtaps, and they do not get their charge move. Pelipper has energy, and Popplio is going to have to start using shields. Pelipper is going to bait with the Weather Ball. That's a pretty safe bait. Popplio will need multiple charge moves to KO here as everything is resisted. Aqua Tail is going to connect. Popplio continuing to farm. Pelipper firing off another charge move here. Honestly, the wing attacks are doing a lot of damage to the Popplio. Popplio farming up, making it to the Water Pulse. This is going to be resisted. Will it be enough to KO? Water Pulse KOs the Pelipper, and that's a good game. We see a familiar lead return in the next match, Dwebble into Galvantula, but this time it is Shadow. Opponent safe switches into Jellicent. Jellicent will be answered with the Rowlett. Rowlett, as we've seen, can tank a Shadow Wall, but not super comfortably, so we will see a shield. Rowlett farming up, going for the Seed Bomb here. Seed Bomb will hit for super effective damage onto the Jellicent. Jellicent is going to commit the shield. Rowlett continuing to farm. Opponent throwing on alignment here. This is enough for the Shadow Ball. Calls the bait. It's the Surf. That is a massive call. And now firing off the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb will put a lot of pressure onto the final shield. Opponent is going to commit the final shield. Rowlett is getting that Jellicent quite low, but honestly, this is a range where Surf would KO. So Rowlett is going to go for the Seed Bomb as soon as it gets there to get rid of the Jellicent and preserve switch advantage. Seed Bomb will get the KO. In comes the Shadow Galvantula. Shadow Galvantula leaves with a move, and this is honestly quite scary as Shadow Galv hits incredibly hard. Galv fires off a charge move. It's the lunge. Dwebble able to tank in the back. It's Swampert. It's going to be a race. Can the Aqua Tail be reached? Yes, but Swampert wins CMP. Earthquake one-shots the Popplio, and Dwebble just does not have enough energy to close out this game. X-Scissor is going to connect onto the Swampert, but Swampert will make the Hydro Cannon. You hate to see it. Dwebble gets KO'd, and that's game over. Hopping into the next match, picking up a pretty decent lead, Dwebble into Pelipper. As we've seen, Dwebble will have to shield if it wants to farm all the way down here. Dwebble farming up Pelipper, firing off the Weather Ball, and we will see an early shield from the Dwebble. Dwebble looking to farm down, opponent safe switches into Swampert. It's Rowlett time. It all comes down to this. Do they have Sludge Wave? Rowlett is going to no shield. Opponent does not. They throw the triple resisted Earthquake. Opponent clearly extremely frustrated at being hard countered by a level 50 starter Pokemon. Rowlett gets the full farm down in the back. Opponent has Diggersby. Diggersby is going to be taking super effective damage from the Leafage and the Seed Bomb. Going for Seed Bomb number 1 and now Seed Bomb number 2. Seed Bomb is going to be shielded by the Diggersby. Diggersby farming up, going for the Fire Punch. Fire Punch will be lethal to the Rowlett, but now it is Popplio time. In comes the Popplio. Popplio farming up. Diggersby firing off a charge move here. Earthquake would hurt. We see a shield from the Popplio on the Earthquake. Diggersby looking to get farmed down and does. Now a switch back into the Dwebble. Dwebble baiting with the X-Scissor, hoping to get the shield. X-Scissor does get shielded by the Pelipper. Pelipper runs out of HP and Dwebble gets the win. Hopping into the final match, leading Dwebble into yet another Galvantula. Galvantula staying in this matchup despite taking super effective damage on the Smackdowns. Dwebble is going to commit the shield because if Galv is staying in, they could potentially be weak in the back. Lunge will, of course, get the debuff. Dwebble leaves debuffed, but with a lot of energy. In comes Obstagoon. We're going to see a pivot into Popplio to reset the debuff on the Dwebble. Popplio can tank whatever is thrown here. Obstagoon goes for the Obstruct, and that's going to buff up Obstagoon's defense while debuffing the Popplios. Popplio is going to go for the Aqua Tail, just looking for some chip damage. Opponent commits the shield. They buff their defense, but they're still using shields on the Obstagoon. Popplio is going to no shield. Obstagoon now going for the Night Slash, and that will KO. In comes the Dwebble. Dwebble firing off the super effective X-Scissor here. X-Scissor is going to be shielded by the Obstagoon, going for X-Scissor number 2. The Obstagoon has buffed its defense, so this X-Scissor probably not going to KO. We see a pivot into the Rowlett, and Rowlett is going to catch the Night Slash from the Obstagoon. In the back, opponent has an Ariados. Oh no, that is not what you're hoping to see. Ariados firing off the Cross Poison. That hits for super effective damage. Ariados cannot quite get the farm down as Rowlett will make the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb unfortunately does not do a lot. It's all going to be up to the Dwebble in the end game. Opponent firing off the Cross Poison here. They do not get the boost. Dwebble, Rock Blast will KO the Ariados. The question is, how healthy is that Obstagoon? Obstagoon is low. In comes the Goon. Dwebble farms down. And that is a good game. All in all, this has got to be one of the most fun teams that I've ever shoutcasted. As I mentioned, a team like this with 3 Pokemon all below 1500 CP, definitely not a team for climbing, but man, being able to get any wins at all with a team like this is one heck of an accomplishment. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible, so thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.